Hi class, this is course 2, lesson 27, and we are going to talk about multiples, least common multiple, or the LCM, and equivalent division problems. Okay, so multiples are where you're counting by a number. So you count by 2s, you count by 5s, you count by 10s, etc. And what you're really doing is, let's count by 2s. You take 2 times 1, and that's 2, and 2 times 2, and that's 4, and 2 times 3, 6, 2 times 4, that's 8, and 2 times 5, that's 10. That's how you're making this list of multiples, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and so on. Okay, but sometimes we need to know the least common multiple, and the least common multiple is the least number, obviously, because it's the least common multiple. So we want the least or the smallest or the lowest number that is a common multiple of 2 or more greater numbers. So we need to know the number, the smallest number that is the same. Okay, it's the smallest number that is the same in a list of multiples. So basically we are counting by those numbers, or we are multiplying that number times 1, times 2, times 3, times 4, times 5, and so on. And we need to compare the two lists to find the smallest one that is the same in each list. So let's find the least common multiple, or the LCM. So if they say LCM, you know it is least common multiple of 4 and 6. So first you're going to start by listing the multiples of 4, and you always start with the number that they give you. You might want to write this down. Start with, that's with, number given. Because the first multiple is the number that you have times 1. So it's 4, then 8, then 12, then 16, then 20, then 24, then 30. Oh, that's not right. The next one, multiple of 4, 7 times 4 would be 28, and then 32, and then I can keep going if I need to, but let's start with the multiples of 6. Again, start with the number that is given. 6, then 12, then 18, then 24, then 30, 36. That's 6 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 times 7 would be 42, and 6 times 8 is 48. Okay, now let's take a look at these lists and find the least common multiple. Let's see if we have a number yet that is in common and is the smallest one that's in common. So if you just circle the numbers that they have in common, 12 and 24, and that's it, right? Okay, so which one is the smallest? The LCM is 12. It's the least common multiple. Is there another common multiple? Absolutely. 24 is a common multiple, but it is not the least common multiple. Okay, so make sure that you are getting the smallest one when asked for the least common multiple. Okay, now, you need to be able to use prime factorization to find the least common multiple, because you will be asked to do these types of things, and prime factorization is so easy if you can make it, if you can figure out this process, okay? Because if you are asked to find the least common multiple of 18 and 24, it's kind of hard to think about counting by 18s, right? We don't do that a lot. And it's even hard to make a list. Like if I go 18, and then I'd say, okay, 18 times 2 then is 36, and then what is 18 times 3? And then I start going, oh my gosh, this is hard, right? But if you use prime factorization, this is really cool, because prime factorization of 18 is 2 times 3 times 3. Okay, and you're going to want to write all this down. I took the liberty of finding the prime factorization of 18 and 24 for you. I know that you know how to do that, so you can copy this down, or you can do the prime factorization and get your own list, but they should still be the same. 18 is 2 times 3 times 3, and 24 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. So, the least common multiple, you have to have all of these. Okay, so you need all of these, and you only need the new ones from here. Okay, so let's see what I mean. Okay, so you need all of the ones from 18. Do you see these? You need a 2, a 3, and a 3. And then you only need the new ones from 24, so you would need a 2 and a 2. That's right here. And so your least common multiple is a 2 times a 2 times a 2 times a 3 times a 3. So you find all of these, 2 times 3 times 3. And then over here, what did you already use? You already used a 2, you already used a 3. So now you need a, whatever's left over here, a 2 and a 2. And when you multiply all those together, you get 72. So the least common multiple would be 72. Okay, so this might be a little confusing for you. Or maybe you say, oh my gosh, that's really awesome, I get it. Still keeping with prime factorization, we're going to use a Venn diagram. That's this, Venn diagram. And we're going to still work through that same process. So, we're going to let this circle over here on the left equal all of 18. And we're going to let this circle on the right equal all of 24. Okay, so you understand that it's the whole giant circle, and then the circles overlap. So where they overlap, let me fix this real quick. I'm going to use, let's see, we'll use green, we'll use yellow, and I know that it's kind of hard to see, but bear with me because yellow and blue make green, so we'll put the green numbers that they have in common in the middle. So, what do they have in common? That's what you need to put in the middle first. So I know that there's a 3 on both sides, so I put 1, 3 in the middle. And I know there is a 2 on both sides, so I put 1, 2 in the middle. Now, the 18 side, this circle here, has to equal 18. And right now it's just 3 times 2, which is 6. So which one did we leave out? We didn't include the 3, so that goes over here in this part of the circle. So you can see that 18 is 3 times 3 times 2. It's just that this 3 and the 2 are shared by the 24. Now on the 24 side, we need to represent 24 in the 24 circle. And we already have used the 3 and the 2. So what other two numbers do we have to use? We have to put a 2 and another 2. And that takes care of this one and this one. And so at this point, everything should be circled or crossed out. Then we multiply. So we have 3 times 3 times 2 times 2 times 2, and that's still going to equal 72. Okay, so you have a couple different ways that you can think about finding least common multiple. You can list the multiples and then circle the ones they have in common and pick the smallest one. You can use prime factorization and try to just visualize this, where you take the ones that 18 has and then the extra ones that 24 has, or use a Venn diagram to keep it straight. So you have a couple different ways to do this.